So, you're heading to Panama and you're thinking about how you're going to get around. First thought, I'll just grab an Uber, right? Well, it's not quite that simple. But don't worry, we're going to break it all down. This is your guide to ride sharing in Panama.
All right, let's just get right to it. The number one question on every traveler's mind: can you actually use Uber in Panama? It's the first thing you Google when the plane lands in a new country. And the answer is, yep, you absolutely can. But, and this is a big but, it's complicated. See, unlike a lot of other places, the whole rideshare scene in Panama is tangled up in specific laws, some pretty heated debates, and there was even a massive Supreme Court decision that just changed everything. And that's exactly what we're going to get into.
Okay, so first things first, let's get the lay of the land. This isn't just an Uber town. Nope, there are actually a few major players all competing for your ride.
So, who's actually where? Well, Uber has officially confirmed they're in the big hubs, Panama City, David. You'll also see some other names pop up, like DiDi and inDrive. But pinning down their exact service areas is a little tricky. Oh, and here's a really important heads up for Cologne. You can get an Uber there, but only for their package delivery service, Uber Flash. No passenger rides. Good to know, right?
Now, this is where things in Panama get really interesting. They have a formal, honest-to-goodness national law just for ride-sharing apps. So let's dig into what that actually means for you when you're there.
Okay, so at the very heart of all this is one key piece of legislation, Executive Decree 331. What it did was create this special category called a luxury transport service, just for these tech platforms. Think about that for a second. This isn't just some taxi you hail with an app. It's legally its own thing, with its own very specific rulebook. So what does this whole luxury thing actually mean for you, the person in the back seat? Well, a couple of things. For starters, the cars can't be more than 7 years old, so you're probably going to get a pretty new ride. Drivers need a special E1 license and commercial insurance too. But here's the rule that's absolutely crucial for any traveler to know. You cannot, under any circumstances, just hail one on the street. Every single trip has to be booked through the app, no exceptions.
But wait, the story doesn't stop there. Just when everyone was kind of getting used to how all this worked, Panama's Supreme Court just waltzed in and completely flipped the script.
So picture this. It's 2017 and the original law drops. And man, it was strict. Payments had to be electronic only, and you could only get a ride in a few specific provinces. That was it. But then fast forward to late 2019 and boom, everything changes. The Supreme Court comes in and just tears down those key restrictions, basically rewriting the rulebook on the fly.
And the impact of that one decision? Oh, it was huge. The entire landscape just shifted overnight. Before the court stepped in, it was strictly cards only, no cash. After, cash was officially in. Before, you could only get a ride in certain areas. After, those geographic limits were gone. Poof. This single court case is the reason everything works the way it does right now. Okay, so now that we've had our little legal history lesson, let's get back to what really matters. You're standing on a corner, you need a ride. Which app should you actually be opening on your phone?
All right, let's break down the main differences. Uber and DiDi are probably going to feel pretty familiar, right? They both give you that upfront price. Uber usually has the most options, from your standard Uber X to Uber Black. DiDi has this really cool feature, a motorcycle option called DiDi Moto. But inDrive is the real wild card here. It's a totally different system where you offer a price, and then the drivers can either accept it or send you a counteroffer. It's literally a negotiation, all happening right there in the app. How cool is that?
And this brings me back to the whole payment thing, which is so, so important. I mean, the Supreme Court themselves said it, and I'm quoting here, "The service may be paid in cash." So let's be super clear. Paying with cash isn't some shady, under-the-table deal. It is a 100% legally affirmed way to pay for your ride in Panama. All right, let's wrap this all up with the stuff you can actually use. Here are our top tips for navigating Panama like a pro with these apps. First up, the airport. Let's talk numbers. To give you a ballpark figure for your budget, an Uber X from Tocumen Airport is going to run you about 19 euros, which is roughly 20 US dollars. And yeah, Panama uses the US dollar, which makes things easy. Now, obviously, that price can go up and down with demand, but it's a great number to just have in the back of your mind before you even land. Now, picking up that Uber at the airport, it's a very specific dance, so listen close. Step 1, do not request your ride until you've cleared customs and you're literally ready to walk outside. Step 2, you'll exit the terminal, cross the street, and head straight for the parking garage. Step 3, the app will tell you exactly which parking row to go to for your pickup. It's usually somewhere between row 15 and 18. And finally, just a few more pro tips to make your life easier. Okay, this first one is huge. If someone comes up to you inside the terminal saying, "Uber, Uber," just ignore them and keep walking. Book your ride only through the app. Seriously. If you're worried about a language barrier with your driver, don't be. The in-app chat has this amazing auto-translate feature that is an absolute lifesaver. And just for comparison's sake, keep in mind that the official airport taxis usually have a fixed rate, somewhere around $30 to $40, so you can always do a quick mental check to see what the better deal is. So where does all this go from here? Well, the thing is, this whole legal battle is far from over. Panama's government is constantly debating new ideas to completely change the system all over again. And that leaves us with one big question, right? As these laws keep shifting, is getting a ride in Panama going to get easier for travelers like you and me? Or is it going to get harder? Only time will tell. But for now, you are totally ready to navigate it like a pro.